My daughter's fiancé stole my identity to claim my $41 million lottery win. My name is Grace Whitaker. Everyone calls me Nana Grace. I'm 67 years old, a retired librarian from Raleigh, North Carolina. And 14 months ago, I won the lottery. I thought that would be the happiest day of my life. After 42 years widowed, scraping by on books and Social Security, counting pennies at the grocery store, choosing between heating bills and new library books for the kids in my reading circle. But I was wrong. So terribly wrong. Because what came after the win was something I never imagined in my worst nightmares. My daughter's fiancé stealing my identity to claim my $41 million prize, gaslighting my own child against me, and attempting to destroy everything I'd built in 6 decades of honest living, and the calculated, methodical revenge that followed. This is my story. Every word is true. And if you've ever trusted the wrong person, if you've ever had someone betray your family, you'll understand why I did what I did. It was a rainy Tuesday in September, the kind of North Carolina rain that turns the world gray and makes you think about all the years that have passed. I bought my usual $2 ticket at the corner Quick Mart on Fayetteville Street. Powerball, same numbers I'd played for 20 years. Numbers from my late husband David's birthday, our wedding date, and the day Emily was born. David died when Emily was just 3. Heart attack at 35, no warning, no goodbye. I raised her alone on a librarian's salary, working weekends at the bookstore, selling his old truck, his tools, everything except his wedding band that I still wore. That Tuesday night, I made myself chamomile tea, settled into David's old recliner that I'd reupholstered twice because I couldn't bear to replace it, and watched the Powerball draw on the little TV in my kitchen. First number, 7, David's birthday. My heart skipped. Second number, 14, our anniversary. My hands started shaking. Third number, 23, Emily's birthday. I set down my tea. Fourth number, 31, the day David proposed. I couldn't breathe. Fifth number, 42, years I'd been alone. Powerball, 15. The number of David's old baseball jersey I'd kept in a box. All 6 numbers. Perfect match. I checked once, twice, 10 times. Went to the lottery website, entered the ticket number. $41 million lump sum after taxes. I sat in that chair until sunrise, holding David's photo, whispering, "Did you do this? Did you send me this?" North Carolina allows anonymous lottery claims, thank God for small mercies. I didn't tell Emily, didn't tell my sister Barbara, didn't tell the ladies from my book club. David's voice echoed in my memory from some conversation decades ago. "Keep it quiet, Grace. Money talks louder than people. It changes them, changes everything." He'd said that when his brother borrowed $500 and never spoke to us again. I understood now what he meant. I did my research, spent 2 weeks reading about lottery winners who went bankrupt, got sued by relatives, ended up miserable or dead. I learned about anonymous trusts, about lawyers who specialized in sudden wealth. I hired Rebecca Torres, sight unseen, based on her credentials from Duke Law and her specialty in estate planning for lottery winners. We met once, in her downtown Raleigh office, all glass and mahogany. She was 40, sharp, professional, and most importantly, she didn't judge my shabby cardigan or my 15-year-old purse. She set up the trust, Whitaker Family Legacy Trust, a beautiful name for a beautiful dream. The claim was filed through her firm, completely anonymous. 2 weeks later, the check deposited. $41 million in bonds, blue chip stocks, conservative investments that would grow slowly and steadily. Rebecca's advice: don't change your life dramatically. Pay off debt quietly. Save for your daughter's future. Wait at least a year before making any major decisions. So I didn't quit my part-time job at the library. Didn't buy a new car. Didn't take a cruise. I paid off the $140,000 mortgage on my little 3-bedroom house without telling anyone, claiming an insurance settlement from David's old policy. I set up college funds for Emily's future children, even though she wasn't even engaged yet. I donated anonymously to the library's children's wing. I bought myself one luxury, a $300 first edition Steinbeck for my collection. That was it. Life stayed simple, quiet, manageable. I slept through the night for the first time in years, until Emily brought home Tyler Grant. Emily met Tyler at a teachers' conference in Charlotte. She was 32, teaching 4th grade at Brookside Elementary, still living in a modest apartment with her rescue cat, Mr. Darcy. She'd dated sporadically, nothing serious, and I'd worried she'd given up on love because she'd seen me alone for so long. Tyler was 35, a financial advisor at Merrill Lynch, or so he said. Sharp charcoal suit, perfect teeth that gleamed when he smiled, expensive watch, confident handshake. He drove a leased BMW and talked about portfolios and market trends. First dinner at my house. He charmed me completely, complimented my pot roast, asked about my years at the library, quoted Hemingway when he saw my bookshelf. The world breaks everyone, and afterward, some are strong at the broken places, he said, touching my shoulder gently. You're one of the strong ones, Grace. I can tell. Emily glowed. She'd never looked happier, and I wanted so desperately for her to have what I'd lost. But something nagged at me. The way his eyes lingered on my simple gold wedding band. David's band that I'd worn on a chain for years before moving it to my finger when I turned 60. The way he asked casual questions. What did your husband do? Any life insurance? You own this place outright? When Emily mentioned my modest retirement savings, Tyler's smile tightened for just a fraction of a second. Then it returned, bright and empty. Everyone deserves a little luxury, Grace, he said, refilling my wine glass without asking. Life's too short to penny pinch. You worked hard. You should enjoy it. The engagement came fast. 3 months of dating, then a proposal at some fancy restaurant I'd never heard of. The ring cost $18,000. Tyler made sure I knew, showing me the receipt when I complimented it. Only the best for my Emily, he said. She's going to have everything she deserves. He started calling me weekly, then twice a week. Just checking on you, Grace, making sure you're eating right. Family takes care of family. He'd show up unannounced, let himself in with Emily's key, poke around my kitchen, my office. Once I caught him at my desk, rifling through papers. He laughed it off. Looking for stamps. Should have asked first. Sorry, Grace. My stamps were in the kitchen drawer. They always had been. Wedding planning became Tyler's obsession. Emily wanted something simple, maybe at the Botanical Gardens, 50 guests, casual and sweet. Tyler pushed for Vegas, a destination wedding, $50,000 budget minimum. Grace, you'll help with costs, right? You're the mother of the bride. Traditional. His tone wasn't asking. It was assuming. I deflected, said I'd contribute what I could, maybe $5,000. His jaw tightened. Emily deserves more than that. I thought you loved your daughter. Then my bank called on a Wednesday morning. I was shelving books in the children's section when my phone buzzed. Mrs. Whitaker, this is fraud prevention at First National. We're showing unusual activity on your checking account. A $5,000 wire transfer to a cryptocurrency exchange account. Did you authorize this? My blood went cold. No, I've never even heard of cryptocurrency. The representative's voice turned grim. I'm freezing the account immediately. You need to come in. And Mrs. Whitaker, check your credit report. Tonight. I left work early, went home, pulled up my credit report on the library's computer since mine was ancient. What I saw made my vision blur. New accounts, plural. A car loan for $20,000 opened 3 weeks ago. A student loan for $15,000 for someone named Tyler Grant Jr., a child that didn't exist. 2 credit cards, maxed out, $12,000 total. All in my name, my social security number, my spotless credit that I'd guarded for 67 years, destroyed in weeks. My hands shook so badly I could barely hold the mouse. I printed everything, stuffed it in my purse, drove to the police station. Filed a report. The officer, a kind woman in her 30s, sighed. Identity theft. We'll investigate, but these are hard to trace. Do you have any idea who might have access to your information? I thought of Tyler at my desk. Tyler asking about my accounts. Tyler, who was a financial advisor, who'd know exactly how to do this. But he was marrying my daughter. Surely not. Surely I was paranoid. Then I got home and found the letter from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Official letterhead, certified mail. Dear Mrs. Whitaker, we are writing to inform you of a claim dispute regarding lottery ticket NER NC 47291, purchased September 19th, winning numbers drawn September 21st. A secondary claim has been filed by Tyler William Grant, using Social Security number 123-45-6789, asserting co-ownership of said ticket through familial financial contribution. Please contact our legal department immediately. My Social Security number, my ticket. The ticket I'd bought alone, with my own $2, at the Quick Mart where I'd shopped for 20 years. Tyler Grant hadn't contributed a penny. Tyler Grant didn't even know I'd won, or so I thought. I didn't sleep that night. Couldn't eat. At dawn, I drove to Emily's apartment, the lottery letter clutched in my hand like a weapon. Tyler answered the door in gym shorts and a tank top, coffee mug in hand, looking relaxed and handsome. Grace, what a nice surprise. Emily's in the shower. Come in, come in. I didn't move. Explain this. I thrust the letter at him. His face went pale, just for a second, then recovered so smoothly I almost thought I'd imagined it. He glanced at the letter, his expression shifting to confusion, then concern. Oh my God, Grace. This is so embarrassing. Emily told me about the win a few weeks ago. Said she wanted it to be a family thing, that you'd been planning to share with her for her wedding. I was just trying to help file the paperwork properly, make sure the taxes were handled right. That's literally my job. My mouth fell open. Emily doesn't know about any win. I never told her. He laughed, a light, casual sound. Grace, come on. She told me months ago. Maybe you forgot? No judgment. Memory slips happen at our age. Our age. I was 67. He was 35. Emily emerged from the bedroom, hair wrapped in a towel, smiling until she saw my face. Mom, what's wrong? Tyler jumped in before I could speak, putting his arm around her shoulders. Your mom's a little confused, babe. She thinks I filed some lottery claim. I'm just helping with the paperwork she asked me to review. I think maybe she's stressed about the wedding. Emily looked between us, her face uncertain. Mom, did you ask Tyler to help with something? No, I said, my voice harder than I intended. Emily, I need to talk to you, alone. Tyler's grip on her shoulder tightened. We don't have secrets, Grace. We're a team. Whatever you want to say to Emily, you can say to me. I left. What else could I do? If I pushed, I'd sound paranoid, unstable. Tyler had planted the seed. Memory issues, confusion, stress. Classic gaslighting. In my car, I sat shaking, then called Rebecca Torres. Freeze everything. Trust, accounts, all of it. I'm dealing with identity theft. Her response was immediate. Consider it done. I'm filing a report with the lottery board, too. Grace, this is serious. Federal crime territory. Who has access to your information? My daughter's fiancé. A long pause. Oh, Grace, I'm so sorry. Rebecca's investigation revealed the depth of Tyler's operation. He'd been planning this for months, long before he'd even proposed to Emily. He'd accessed my personal documents when I'd invited him to Thanksgiving dinner 8 months ago, photographing my social security card, birth certificate, and banking information while pretending to use the bathroom. He'd opened accounts at banks across 3 states, building credit in my name. He'd filed fake tax returns showing income that didn't exist. And he'd crafted an elaborate story for the lottery board. That he'd given me the $2 to buy the ticket, that we'd had a verbal agreement to split any winnings, that I was now reneging due to age-related cognitive decline. He'd even forged a document, supposedly signed by me, gifting him power of attorney over my finances. The signature was good, nearly perfect. He must have practiced. But Rebecca found something else. Tyler wasn't a financial advisor at Merrill Lynch. He'd been fired 3 years ago for embezzling from elderly clients. The BMW was leased under a fake business name. The expensive watch was a convincing knockoff. Tyler Grant was a con artist, and my daughter was his Mark's daughter, a convenient cover story. Emily called me crying 2 days after our confrontation. Mom, I'm so sorry. Tyler said you're confused, but I checked, and I never told him about any lottery win, because you never told me about any lottery win. Mom, what's going on? I almost told her everything right then. But I stopped, because if Tyler found out I was talking to Emily, he might escalate, might hurt her, might disappear with whatever money he'd already stolen. Sweetheart, it's complicated. Just trust me. And Emily, don't tell Tyler we talked. She hesitated. Mom, you're scaring me. Good. Be scared. Be careful. I needed proof, something concrete that would convince Emily and the authorities. So I did something I'm not proud of, something that made me feel like a criminal myself. Tyler's birthday was approaching. I bought him a $400 smartwatch from Best Buy, a generous gift from a future mother-in-law. I had the tech-savvy teenager who lived next door install a hidden recording app, the kind that runs in the background and uploads audio to a cloud server. Mrs. Whitaker, the kid said uncomfortably, this is pretty invasive. He's stealing from me, I said flatly. Help me or don't. He helped. Tyler loved the watch, wore it everywhere, showed it off to his friends. And 3 nights later, the recording app caught gold. I was at home, reviewing the audio files that uploaded automatically every hour. Most were boring, gym conversations, work calls, Tyler ordering lunch. Then I heard my name. Tyler's voice, talking to someone I didn't recognize. Yeah, the old lady's social worked like a charm. Lottery board's reviewing my claim right now. 41 million, baby. Once it clears, I'm out. Emily gets nothing. She's too soft, too trusting. Perfect cover story while I work the mom. But she served her purpose. The other voice. What if she finds out? Tyler laughed, cold and sharp. She won't. I've got her convinced her mom's senile. And even if Grace tries to fight, who's the jury going to believe? A confused old widow or a financial professional with documentation? Then Emily's voice, faint in the background. Tyler, who are you talking to? A pause. Then Tyler, smooth as silk. Just a work call, babe. Come here, let me finish this up. Emily, closer now. I heard you mention my mom. Tyler, is something going on? She's been acting strange, and you've been weird about her too. Tyler's voice turned sharp. Your mom won the lottery? Did you know that? $41 million? She's hoarding it, living like a pauper while planning to leave it all to some charity instead of her own daughter. I'm fixing that. I'm getting what's rightfully yours, ours, as a family. Emily's voice shook. But Mom earned that money. It's hers. If she won, she can do what she wants with it. Tyler's response made my blood turn to ice. Not anymore, she can't. I'm family now. That money is mine by right. And if she fights me, I'll make sure everyone knows how unstable she is, how she's not fit to manage her own affairs. I'll get conservatorship if I have to. Either way, that money is mine. I listened to that recording 17 times that night, saved it to 3 different devices, sent copies to Rebecca, to the police, to the lottery board. Then I did something I should have done weeks ago. I called Emily. Sweetheart, I said when she answered, my voice steady despite the tears on my face. We need to talk. Somewhere Tyler can't find us. Pack a bag. Don't tell him you're leaving. Come to my house. Now. Emily arrived at midnight, shaking, a duffel bag over her shoulder and Mr. Darcy's carrier in her hand. Her eyes were red, her face pale. He found me packing, she whispered. Said I was being manipulated by you, that you're sick and need help. Mom, I didn't know what to believe. But then he grabbed my arm when I tried to leave. Hard. And I saw something in his eyes I'd never seen before. I pulled her inside, locked every door, closed every curtain. We sat at my kitchen table. The same table where she'd done homework as a child, where we'd celebrated birthdays and holidays, where I'd cried after David died. I played her the recording, all of it, watched her face crumble as she heard the man she'd planned to marry describe her as a perfect cover story, as someone who'd served her purpose. When it finished, she sat in silence for a long moment. Then she stood, walked to my bathroom, and I heard her being sick. When she came back, her face was different, harder, older. I found something, she said quietly. Last week. I thought I was being paranoid, but I checked his laptop when he was in the shower. He has files, Mom. Documents with my social security number, my banking information. He was planning to steal from me too, make it look like I was part of the scheme against you. Frame both of us. She pulled out a flash drive from her pocket. I copied everything. Emails to someone called The Fixer, fake identification documents, spreadsheets tracking your accounts and mine. He's been planning this for over a year, Mom. Since before he even met me. He targeted our family. We looked at each other across that old table. 2 women who'd been fooled, who'd trusted a monster. What do we do? Emily whispered. I reached across and took her hand. We destroy him. Rebecca Torres connected us with an IRS criminal investigation agent named Marcus Webb, a sharp-eyed man in his 50s who specialized in financial fraud cases. Identity theft involving federal lottery winnings is a federal crime, he explained in Rebecca's office. The three of us plus Emily crowded around a conference table. Wire fraud, tax evasion, identity theft, potentially even extortion. Mr. Grant is looking at serious prison time, but we need to catch him in the act, make the case airtight. He looked at me carefully. Mrs. Whitaker, we need you to play along. Pretend you're willing to cooperate with his demands. Can you do that? I thought of David, of the life we'd built, of the 42 years I'd spent alone, of my daughter's broken trust. Tell me what to do. The plan was elegant. Tyler had been pressuring me to sign an affidavit stating I'd gifted him the lottery ticket, that the claim was a misunderstanding. He'd called 3 times, each message more threatening. Grace, this is ridiculous. Sign the paper and this all goes away. Or I go to the IRS about your tax evasion. Unreported lottery income is a federal crime. You could lose everything. Agent Webb had me call Tyler back, recording everything. I played the confused old woman perfectly. Tyler, I'm so sorry for the confusion. You're right. I should have told the lottery board about our arrangement. Can we meet and sort this out? We arranged to meet at a coffee shop downtown, neutral territory. Tyler would bring the affidavit. I would bring my signature. And Agent Webb would bring a full surveillance team and a warrant. The morning of the meeting, Emily hugged me tight. Mom, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry I didn't see it. He was good, I told her. Professionals are always good. That's why they get away with it. She pulled back, her eyes fierce. Not this time. The coffee shop meeting was surreal. Tyler arrived in a new suit, all smiles and confidence. He kissed my cheek like a loving son-in-law, ordered me a coffee I didn't want, slid the papers across the table. Just sign here, Grace. We'll forget this whole misunderstanding. You'll still get your share, I promise. Family takes care of family. I picked up the pen, hand shaking genuinely now. And Emily? His smile never wavered. Emily will be taken care of. I love her, Grace. This is for all of us. Lies. All lies. I signed a fake name, a detail Agent Webb had insisted on. The moment Tyler picked up the papers, folded them, and tucked them in his jacket, Agent Webb appeared from the back corner. Tyler William Grant, FBI. You're under arrest for identity theft, wire fraud, and attempted extortion. Tyler's face went white, then red. He looked at me. And for the first time, I saw real emotion. Rage, pure and undiluted. You bitch! You senile bitch! I had you convinced. I had everything planned. I stood, leaning on the table, and met his eyes. You underestimated me because I'm old, because I'm a widow, because I'm quiet. That was your mistake. They cuffed him right there, in front of a dozen coffee shop customers who filmed everything on their phones. Emily watched from across the street through the window, her hand pressed to the glass. As they led Tyler away, he shouted back at me. It was for us, Grace. For the family. You were hoarding it. You don't deserve that money. I stayed standing until he was gone, until the police car disappeared around the corner. Then my knees gave out, and Agent Webb caught me. You did good, Mrs. Whitaker. Real good. The trial took 8 months. Tyler's defense lawyer tried every angle. I was confused. I had memory problems. Tyler genuinely believed we had an agreement. But the evidence was overwhelming. The recordings, the forged documents, the fake identity he'd built. The other victims Rebecca's investigation uncovered: 3 elderly women in Georgia and South Carolina he'd scammed before moving to North Carolina. He'd stolen over $300,000 from them combined, ruined their credit, destroyed their retirement. Emily testified. That was the hardest day. She sat in the witness box in a navy blue dress, her hands folded, her voice steady. "He told me he loved me," she said, not looking at Tyler. "He said we'd build a life together, but he was using me to get to my mother. He called me a cover story. He said I'd served my purpose. I heard him say it on the recording. And when I tried to leave, when I tried to go to my mother, he grabbed me. He hurt me." She rolled up her sleeve, showed the jury the bruises, purple and yellow, finger-shaped. Tyler's lawyer objected, called it prejudicial. The judge overruled. Those bruises stayed in the record. When it was my turn to testify, I looked at Tyler directly. He'd lost weight in jail, his perfect hair was disheveled, his suit was cheap. He looked smaller somehow, diminished. "You came into my home," I said quietly. "You ate at my table. You called me family. You looked my daughter in the eyes and lied to her every single day. You didn't just steal my money. You stole my trust. You stole her trust. You tried to steal our relationship, turn her against me? That's not a financial crime. That's cruelty." His lawyer asked if I'd ever explicitly told Tyler I hadn't won the lottery. I smiled. "I didn't tell anyone. That was the point of an anonymous claim. But Tyler isn't anyone. Tyler was a con artist who researched lottery winners, who tracked anonymous trust filings, who deliberately targeted my family. He knew. He always knew." The jury deliberated for 3 hours, guilty on all counts. Sentencing day, Tyler tried one last manipulation. He looked at Emily, his eyes wet, his voice breaking. "Em, I'm sorry. I loved you. I still love you. I just wanted to give you the life you deserved. I made mistakes, but it came from love." Emily stood from the gallery, and for a moment I thought she might waver. Then she spoke, her voice clear and cold. "My name is Emily Whitaker, not Emily Grant. I never took your name. I never will. And love doesn't look like bruises. Love doesn't look like lies. You don't know what love is." She sat down, took my hand, and we waited. The judge, a woman in her 60s with silver hair and steel eyes, looked at Tyler for a long moment. "Mr. Grant, you are a predator. You target vulnerable people. You exploit trust. You destroy families. This court sees through your manipulation. 10 years federal prison. $1.2 million in restitution to your victims. Permanent felony record. And a restraining order barring you from contact with the Whitaker family for life." She banged her gavel. Tyler was led away. He didn't look back. Outside the courthouse, Emily and I stood in the autumn sunlight, leaves falling around us like gold coins. "It's over," she whispered. "No," I said, squeezing her hand. "It's just beginning." The $41 million had grown in its careful investments. By the time Tyler was sentenced, it was worth $46 million. I'd also recovered $180,000 of the money he'd stolen, sold off his seized assets. Emily and I sat in Rebecca's office one December morning, snow falling outside, and made a decision. "I want to help people like us," Emily said. "People who've had their identity stolen, their trust destroyed. Especially women, especially families." Rebecca smiled. "I was hoping you'd say that." We launched the Identity Shield Foundation with a $5 million endowment. The mission? Comprehensive support for identity theft victims. free legal aid to fight credit fraud and stolen claims, counseling services for the emotional trauma, education programs teaching people how to protect themselves, and scholarships, full college scholarships, for young people whose futures had been derailed by identity theft. Our first recipient was a single mother named Maria, 34, whose ex-husband had stolen her Social Security number to take out $80,000 in fraudulent loans, destroying her credit and her dreams of going back to school to become a nurse. We paid off her fraudulent debt. We gave her a full scholarship to nursing school. We provided childcare support and counseling. When she graduated 3 years later, she stood at her ceremony in her white coat and pointed to Emily and me in the audience. "Those women gave me my life back," she told everyone. "They turned their pain into my hope." The foundation helped 200 people in the first year, 500 in the second. Now, in year 3, we're on track for 1,000. Emily runs it full-time. She left teaching to become the executive director, threw herself into the work with fierce dedication. "Tyler tried to break us," she told a reporter once. "Instead, he showed us our purpose." I volunteer 3 days a week, answering phones, reviewing applications, meeting with victims. Every person I help, I think, this is what David's numbers meant. This is what that Tuesday night was for. Not luxury, not ease, purpose. 2 years after Tyler's sentencing, Emily came to Sunday dinner with someone new. His name was Daniel Chen, 34, a CPA who volunteered at the foundation helping victims untangle their finances. He was quiet, wore glasses, drove a practical Honda, and brought me a potted orchid instead of flowers. "They last longer," he explained shyly. "And they bloom every year if you care for them right." Over dinner, he asked about David, about my years at the library, about my favorite books. He listened when I answered. Really listened. When Emily went to get dessert, he stayed to help me clear plates. "Mrs. Whitaker," he said quietly, "I know Emily's been through something terrible. I'm not here to rush anything or push anything. I just wanted you to know. I see her, the real her, and I'm patient." I looked at this careful, kind man and felt something release in my chest. "Call me Grace," I said. Their relationship grew slowly, carefully, like an orchid blooming. Daniel never asked about money, never pushed for more than Emily was ready to give. He came to family dinners every week. He fixed my leaky faucet without being asked. He made Emily laugh again. The proposal came on a quiet Saturday morning in my garden. No flash, no restaurant. Just Daniel on one knee in the tomato plants, holding a simple silver band. "Emily Whitaker, I love you. Not your story, not your family's money, not what you can give me. Just you. Will you marry me?" She said yes. Then she called me from the garden, crying happy tears for the first time in years. Their wedding was everything Tyler's would have been fake. Backyard ceremony, 15 guests, Emily's students, Daniel's family, our closest friends. Emily wore my wedding dress, altered to fit her. Daniel wore his father's suit. The whole thing cost $500. When they exchanged vows, Daniel said, "I promise to be honest, to be patient, to earn your trust every single day. In trust, forever." Emily repeated it back. "In trust, forever." I cried through the whole ceremony. Good tears this time. Healing tears. Last month, I got a letter forwarded through Rebecca's office. Prison mail. Tyler Grant. I almost threw it away. Emily told me I should. But curiosity won. The letter was typed, single-spaced, 3 pages long. An apology. or what he thought passed for one. Excuses about his childhood, his father's abuse, his own victimization. Then, in the last paragraph, I heard about the foundation, the identity shield. That's my money funding it, Grace. Money I would have used to give Emily a good life. Instead, you're giving it to strangers. I hope you're happy. I read it twice, then once more. Then I did something Tyler would never understand. I wrote back, Tyler, it was never your money. It was never ours. It was mine, earned by luck, and protected by law. But you're right about one thing. I am giving it to strangers. Strangers who are victimized by people like you. Strangers who deserve a second chance. And yes, I am happy. Happier than I've ever been. Because every person we help is proof that you didn't win. That cruelty doesn't triumph. That trust can be rebuilt. Emily has a good life now, with a good man who truly loves her. She runs a foundation that changes lives. She's whole again. We both are. And you're in prison where you belong, where you can't hurt anyone else. I don't forgive you. I don't need to. But I do thank you in a strange way. You showed us who we really are. Strong, unbreakable, and together. That's something you'll never understand. Grace Whitaker. I mailed it that day. Never heard back. Don't expect to. Final chapter, Legacy. The orchid Daniel brought me 3 years ago is blooming again, its 3rd year in a row. I keep it on my kitchen windowsill, right where I can see it while I drink my morning tea. Emily and Daniel live 10 minutes away. They're talking about kids, about starting a family. When they do, I'll tell those children about their great-grandfather David, about patience and kindness and the numbers that changed everything. But I won't tell them about Tyler. That story ends here, with me, buried and forgotten. The 41 million isn't in lottery winnings anymore. It's in Maria's nursing degree. It's in the single father we helped clear $60,000 of fraudulent debt. It's in the teenager who got a scholarship after her identity was stolen by her own mother's boyfriend. It's in the 1,000 lives we've touched, the families we've helped rebuild. David would have understood. Money talks, he used to say. Well, mine is speaking loud and clear now. It's saying, you matter. You're not alone. You can survive this. Every Sunday, I visit David's grave, bring him daffodils, tell him about our week. Last week, I told him about Emily's pregnancy news. She's 3 months along, a baby girl, due in September. We're naming her Grace, Emily told me, crying. Grace Whitaker Chen, after the strongest woman I know. A granddaughter, a legacy, a future built not on stolen money, but on earned trust. Tyler tried to take everything from us. My identity, my money, my daughter, my family's peace. Instead, he gave us something he never intended. Clarity, purpose, unshakable bonds. The lottery win was luck. But what I built with it, that was choice. True wealth isn't claimed through lies or theft or manipulation. It's built through trust, through integrity, through turning pain into purpose. And mine is unbreakable now. Mine will outlive me, will ripple forward into futures I'll never see. Mine is measured not in dollars, but in lives changed, in families healed, in dignity restored. Tyler Grant tried to steal my $41 million, but what he actually stole was his own freedom, his own future, his own chance at redemption. And what I gained? Everything that truly matters. What would you do if someone stole your identity for $41 million? Would you seek revenge? Would you seek justice? Would you turn your pain into purpose? Comment below. I read every single one. Your stories matter to me. If you've been affected by identity theft, visit identityshieldfoundation.org. We're here, we'll help. You're not alone. Subscribe for weekly true stories of revenge, resilience, and redemption. Next week, the $1.2 million mansion theft, how my neighbor's son tried to forge my deed. This is Grace Whitaker, signing off. Stay strong, stay vigilant, and remember, they can steal your identity, but they can never steal your integrity. Thank you for listening to my true story.